Now whoever's crashing on me has to stop. Because what is this love pimple?
What is going on? Let me hype myself up. Hello you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Precious Omphithetse. If you're seeing this face for the first time, that means you're not subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe and join the family. On today's video, we will be on our feelings again, just like the previous one, but today we are continuing the journey that I started when I started my YouTube channel. I started the journey to self-love, and when I started this journey, the first topic that I talked about, or the one thing that I felt like was hindering my journey to self-love, was self-sabotage. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. We were talking about how I sabotage myself, and sometimes sabotaging ourselves can be a hindrance towards self-love. And then after we talked about self-sabotage, we talked about I actually gave you guys tips on how to work on self-sabotage and prevented that. And then from there we talked about self-forgiveness. We said that we're now getting into a stage where we said self-acceptance and forgiveness. We got to a stage where now we're accepting that we're actually sabotaging ourselves, we're actually doing all these bad things to ourselves, and we're self-hating. And therefore, after accepting that, we then went into a process of forgiving ourselves, and I gave you guys tips on how to actually forgive yourself. From there, now we're coming to another one, which is still part of the self-love journey, which is self-worth. Now we need to understand that sometimes not knowing your own worth or feeling like you're less worthy makes you, or it hinders your journey to self-love. It hinders your love for yourself in so many ways. So today we're going to be talking about that and how we could actually work on finding our self-worth and actually seeing how much valuable we are to ourselves and to other people as well. So I'm going to be reading out of my book. So I wrote about three definitions of self-worth. The first one I wrote: unconditional self-worth is a sense that you deserve to be alive, loved and cared for, to take up space. I'm going to repeat that. Unconditional self-worth is a sense that you deserve to be alive, loved and cared for, to take up space. And I think this one goes most to like a lot of people who go through the stages of depression, where you feel like you don't deserve to be alive, or you don't feel loved as much as you see other people getting loved, which is something we're also going to talk about. So Merriam-Webster also defines self-worth as having a sense of one's own value as a human being. Okay, so I've said, what is the self-worth that I'm talking about? I'm talking about instances where you do not feel like you're valuable, or you do not feel like you deserve to be alive, or you do not feel like you deserve to be loved, or you do not feel like you deserve something, like basically not feeling deserving of other things. I think I talked about this when I talked about my self-sabotaging, that I always felt like I was not worthy of so many other things. So let me give you guys an example, right? When I got to university, I think the first semester I was really going through a lot, and then I failed, right? When I got home, someone might have commented that I was going to fail, and that is my definition of my marks. So growing up, I used academic excellence as something that defined me, or something that could be used to like praise me, that I was good at. So I was given attention because I was good academically. So it's something that I gave myself to. So when I got to university in the first semester, I didn't do well. I felt like the one thing that described me, or the one thing that gave me worth or value, is now no longer existent, you get. So I started feeling like I'm not deserving of getting good marks now, because I lost that title when I failed my first semester. So I didn't think that I could get an 80% or a 90% when I got to law school, because I felt like already my marks were set by the first semester, and someone told me that I was going to fail. So already that was like a definition, or a clear indication of how much I'm worth, or how much value I add to my academics. I don't know if that makes sense. So I started feeling like I'm not worthy of getting those 80s and those 90s. And when I got an 80 the first time, I felt like, that's not me, that's not my mark. Are you sure you marked it correctly? Because ain't no way, my boy. So I just felt like I was not worthy enough to get that 80%. So most of us actually go through these things where you feel like you're not worth getting the things that you have. You feel like even the things that you desire, not just the things that you have, the things that you desire, it's like okay, let's say for example, you use an iPhone 6, somebody uses an iPhone 13, you take a picture, you post it on social media, and then you get about 10 likes. And then this person takes a similar photo, they post it, and they get 10,000 likes. So I remember watching a TED talk where the lady was saying that so many of us have put our worth on social media or the internet on its own, that it actually it makes us lose sight of how important we are actually to ourselves and to other people. So you, as an iPhone 6 user, because you got those 10 likes and this person got 10,000 likes, it makes you feel not necessarily just yourself, but you feel like your phone is not as valuable as an iPhone 13 is, because your phone got you 10 likes and then her phone got her 10,000 likes. So then you start having this feeling of, I need to get myself an iPhone 13 Pro Max, which means you now make your iPhone 6 lose value of what it's actually worth for an iPhone 11, 13 Pro Max that you do not have. 11, 13 Pro Max, yeah, whatever that is. So this just happens to us as a whole, that we put our value on social media so much that even when I post, this is why I deleted my Instagram, because when you post something and you get about 10 likes, you start feeling like, okay, the people that saw my photo, because Instagram has this insights where you can check like how many people you've reached with your post, and you see that maybe I've reached 5,000 people but only I got 10 likes. So these other 4,990 didn't think that I'm worthy enough to get a like. You get what I mean? So we put so much of our value and our worth on social media platforms and other things, and not just social media platforms but people as well, that when okay, let's say for example, because we're getting to December and we're all going home, right? When you get home, they give you this title, you don't ever do anything, you're such a gaps hand, you're a princess, whatever. So that makes you feel like you're not actually worthy of working with people who are working at home. I don't even know if my example makes sense, but a lot of us lose our sense of self-worth only because of what other people say. And here's like some of the things that help, that make us lose our self-worth. I mentioned the internet. I mentioned us as well. We're also a third party to us losing our self-worth, and here's why: because we give people a chance or a window to actually give us these comments that lead to us having less self-worth. I don't know if this makes sense. It's like what you say to people and how you present yourself. If you come across as this person who's always complaining about your weight, and also, here's the thing, we know that you're complaining about your weight because you saw somewhere that you being that size is not as worthy as you think it is, because now we're praising the BBL bodies and you do not have a BBL body. So you start feeling like your body is not worth being out there. So you feel more worthy as compared to a girl with a BBL body. Now, how do you come party to your own self-worth being deducted? Is you taking that and actually making it define you. And then when you talk to other people, you actually use those lines such as, I'm fat, I don't have a good body, I'm this. Because when you say that to people, people consume it in, and then when you're wearing a jean or something and I see you, I'm like, oh, you're so fat these days. That's because you opened that window for me to say you're fat. You get what I mean? So imagine if you're a girl who knows that you're a big girl, you're confident in your skin, and you wear your jean and somebody sees you and you say it with passion. You say it, I love my body and I am very comfortable in this body. So you're not really open a window for people to shun you or make you lose your self-worth, because already you know who you are and you are comfortable in who you are, and you know that you're actually worthy of a lot more things than just you being a fat girl. I don't know if that makes sense. And then I also wanted to make reference to, okay, so that we could understand like this whole self-worth and self-value. Let's take, I saw this example online, so don't come for me. Let's take money, right? This person used example with $1. He took $1, he asked people how people saw the dollar. People said they see $1, and then he crumbled it up, and then he opened again and he asked, what is this? And they said, it's $1. And then he stepped on it, threw it inside a bin and asked, what is it still? And then he took it out and asked, what is it? And they still said, it's $1. And then he tore it up and then he asked, what is it? And the people still said, it's $1. And someone said, you can tape it up and it'd still be $1. So what is this example saying? It's saying that no matter how much no matter what you go through as a person, that doesn't necessarily have to make you lose your self-worth or your self-value. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much you stepped on it, you crumbled it up, you tore it apart, at the end of the day, when you put it back together, it's still $1. So you were created for a certain reason. Hence why, whether or not somebody steps on you, somebody breaks your heart, somebody does something to you, you get lost in life, or something really bad happens to you, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to lose your self-worth and your self-value. That just one of the things that you go through in life, but you need to be strong and stand up and actually understand that your self-worth and your self-worthy is not, your self-worth and your self-value is not determined on what other people are doing to you or what you face. I always say this phrase that what happens to you does not necessarily have to define who you are or who you become. So these things happen to you, yes, but they are not, like, it's like a journey, right? In a journey, let's say a road, you're moving from point A to point B. From point A to point B, it might not be a straight road, it might be a curvy road, but just because in that curvy road you hit a cow doesn't mean now your life stops. You don't necessarily have to keep going forward to point B. So what I'm trying to say is, whether or not people have hurt you or people have made you lose your self-worth, that doesn't necessarily mean that, wait, what am I saying? Whether or not things happen to you, that doesn't mean that now you should lose a sense of how much valuable or how much worthy you are, not only to yourself but to other people as well. And I keep saying to yourself because I noticed as I was growing up that I was actually valuable to myself. Before I started thinking or understanding that I might be valuable or worthy to other people, I looked at it with myself, because I realized that I'm able to have these emotional conversations that I'm having right now with the camera with myself. I'm able to sit down and take it step by step to know and understand where exactly I am in my self-love journey. Before I could sit down and have this conversation with the camera, I have it with myself, with my imaginary audience in the shower, where I'm thinking about having to share these things with people, and well, I'm sharing them with myself before I share them with people. So it made me realize how much valuable I am to myself, because then I understand that I can still teach myself these things. I can still remind myself of these things. So I think that we need to understand that no matter what happens to us, we will never lose sight of our value. We should never lose sight of our value and our worthy. We should never use or never allow the internet or other people to define our self-worth and love for us. So you need to understand that you are loved, you are alive, you deserve to be alive, you deserve to be loved, you deserve to receive all the good things in life, and you are worthy, you are valuable, you are worthy enough to get that job, you're worthy enough to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. Just because you were born in a poor family doesn't mean that you're not worthy of getting a luxurious lifestyle as much as someone who was born in a rich family. I hope that makes sense. I've been talking and talking. Whew. Okay, so the following are 4 steps that you can use to feel worthy or to get back to feeling more worthy, because I understand that most of us lose our sense of worthiness from our childhood traumas, or as we grow we start losing our self-worthy because of the comments that we get from people and stuff like that. So here are the 4 tips that you can use to feel worthy again. So the first one is forgive yourself. All right, so we already came up with a video of self-forgiveness and how to do that on its own. So the one thing that I'm going to mention from that video, which you should watch it, is to be able to forgive someone, you accept that they did something to you and then you forgive them. It's so easy for us to forgive other people, but we never want to do it for ourselves. I don't understand why as human beings we hate ourselves enough not to be able to forgive ourselves as much as we forgive other people. And I did mention in that video that it's like, if you've been hurt, I like using this example because this happens to most of us. If you've been heartbroken and someone did something to you, let's say for example your boyfriend cheated on you and you were able to forgive them, why is it that you're not able to forgive yourself for other things that you did to yourself? but you're able to forgive him for doing that to you, right? And we know that that act on its own may make you lose your self-worth. Now this is time for you to accept that I've been doing this and that makes my self-worth degrade, and I need to learn to forgive myself for these things. And I think you guys should check that video out, because we laid down the steps in which you can follow to be able to forgive yourself. The second one is practicing self-acceptance. So this next step is saying that we need to look within ourselves and look at ourselves. What are the things that make us feel like we're less worthy? Is it your body? Is it the way you laugh? Is it the way you talk to people? Is it the way you present yourself on camera? Now, we're going to look at all these things and start accepting that actually my body is this way. This is the kind of body that I have. This is the kind of voice that I have. This is the kind of head that I have. If my eyes are not cute, this is it. If there's one thing I needed to accept growing up, was my face. That I am this person. Like, I used to hate taking pictures or videos or anything or even sharing them, because I always felt like I was not pretty enough. I was not light-skinned enough. I had a big nose, my eyes were not cute, my lips were too big. Like, I had all these things in my head orchestrated. Oh my god, English, Kesan. So I needed to look within and actually start accepting that this is my face, this is how I look, and then this is my body, this is how it looks, this is my voice, this is how it is. So when you're facing the same things, look at the things that make you feel like you're less worthy. If it's your body, start learning to accept that your body is like that. If it's your voice, if it's the way you laugh, start laughing more actually, and get to dissolve and understand that that's the way you laugh, and accept it. So we need to learn to accept that, because the body standards that are set by the community, the way a woman should be, the way this has to be, those are the things that someone created, and you were created to be you. And I think if there's one thing we need to understand, is you were created to be you for a reason. And like I always say, I believe everything happens for a reason. You were created the way you are for a reason. Maybe because God was testing you. I believe in God. If you don't, I'm sorry. But maybe it's because God is testing, and maybe God is putting all of that, or everything that is happening, onto you, so that he can see how you're going to use that. Or maybe he even knows how you're supposed to use all of that he gave you in order to become a better person, or help other people become better people. So the moment you start accepting that that's who you are, you need to find it in your heart. Maybe those things are like the things that are going to help you become the person who you are going to become. It's like people who give TED Talks. Most of them have had things happen in their lives, and I realized that those stories were not there to break them, but they were there to make them. So what is happening to you is maybe there to build you or make you, but not to break you. And that's why I keep saying, when something happens to you, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should lose your self-worth because it's happening to you. It's happening to you because maybe it's there to build you and not break you. The third step is to be there for yourself when times are tough. Be there for yourself when times are tough, and here's why. Sometimes when we go through stuff, we want people to be there for us, because then we start feeling like, okay, maybe we are important to them, maybe we are worthy at the end of the day, we're valuable, they value us, and they think we're worth it, we're worth their time. So imagine now if when you have a tough moment happening or a tough situation happening, you are there for yourself, you're actively there for yourself, instead of waiting for someone else to be there for you. Then you start realizing how much worthy and valuable you are to yourself. Because if you're going to rely on other people to be there for you when you're going through something, then you're not going to see how valuable and how worthy you are to yourself. I don't know if this makes sense, but you need to be there for yourself. And even when times are tough, even when times are not tough, or when they're okay and just happy moments. The last step we need to take is to connect to supportive people. Connect to supportive people having people who support you and who show you love, even when you are doing something that other people make you feel that you are not worthy enough, because when you do them is important, because you get to actually start accepting more of these things and knowing that this actually happens. Right. The last tip, which is just an additional tip, is to have affirmations. I personally have an affirmation. My affirmation currently at the moment is the song Jiraiya by Maverick City. It says, I'm already loved. Yeah? I'm already loved. I'm already okay, I'm already loved, I'm already chosen, I know who I am, and that is enough. It also goes on to say, you are enough, so I am enough. So having to listen to the song every day for me reminds me how much I am enough for myself and for other people that are receiving me. And yeah, that is enough on its own. So you don't necessarily need someone to tell you that you're not worthy or you're worthy, but you need yourself more than anything to be able to understand that you're actually worthy and you're valuable. So the moment we start realizing our worth and actually accepting that this is us, and we are going to we're not going to lose so many opportunities that we lost because we never thought we are as worthy as possible for us to get those positions or to get all of that. So being able to accept that you're actually valuable and you're worthy will help you achieve all of those opportunities that you would have probably lost when you did not understand your worth. So the moment you start accepting your worth, the more closer you are to starting to self-love or to love yourself even more. So this is yet another step for us in the journey to self-love. I hope you guys understood something. Please do share down below what you guys think, and yeah, what did you learn from this video? How has it been trying to find your self-worth or your self-value? Do you ever feel like you've lost your self-worth or your self-value and stuff like that? Please comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next one.